Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Game Reviews. What are we reviewing this time? Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. It was developed by Ryuga Gotoku. I had the pronunciation before, but now just totally screwed it up. Studios. That's the official name. Published by Sega. Came out on November 9th of 2023 on PlayStation 4 and 5, Windows, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. It's an action adventure single player game. It is the Like a Dragon series is a spin-off of the Yakuza series. And this one was supposedly going to be DLC for Like a Dragon, but then it ended up being its own thing, right? It became sentient and became its own monster. And so this one is, it takes place between the events of Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, which came out in 2016, and Yakuza Like a Dragon, which came out in 2020. If you're thinking, and it ties into the new Yakuza game, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, that's coming out in 2024. If you're hoping and wishing that this game's combat system is like a Dragon, I'm just going to spoil it for you at the beginning before we talk with these guys that it is not. So unfortunately, but let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk to these guys, what they think of the game. Pat, what do you think of Like a Dragon, the man who erased his name?
I was kind of hoping for the combat like a dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon, but I didn't watch enough videos because when I hopped in, I'm like, oh, it's not the cool combat like that. But, I was kind of expecting it not to be, but I was hoping that they would stick to that combat type. But it is what it is. The game is just like all the other Yakuzas. It's very story centric. You spend a lot of time watching cutscenes. Especially early on in the game, there is a lot of cutscene and not a whole lot of playing. So you guys got to make it through that before you get to. I think it's well into chapter 3 before you actually get a lot of play time, because chapter 2 is still a lot of story. But it's like typical Yakuza game. It looks cool. It's got good gameplay. It can be rather difficult because it's not just a button masher. When you're fighting big enemies, when you're fighting the little guys in packs, it can be pretty much a button masher, right? But when the big guys come out, you button mash, they basically wipe the floor with your face, right? Just smack you around, kick you around, So the game does have difficulty sliders, so if you need it to be a little easier, you can move that around at any time. So, that's one of the good things. But combat can be difficult in boss fights. Really, for me, it's, everything is getting compared to Like a Dragon anymore. And it doesn't add up for me. I really hope the next one, the Infinite Money or whatever the heck it's called, is going to be just like the old one. I hope so. I really want them to go back to that. And I really hope it's the Ichiban story, because I really liked his character in there. The protagonist that's in this one is just too stoic and non-memorable. I think he's a non-memorable character so far. In my opinion, he's been non-memorable. So for me, I'm like, he's a forgettable story. So I'm having a little bit of a hard time staying engaged with this one, just because I find the combat to be quite tedious and repetitive. It's like, go in your stance, attack, dodge, sometimes parry, and get the button where you get to do the smash and B, so you get to do the cool finishing move on them or the cool block move, So to me, it's just a little boring in the combat aspect, and the story's just meh. Same story as always. Mob's got a guy by the toes, and he's got to do what they say, or else it's curtains for him and his friends or him and his family. So to me, it's just okay. It's an okay game. It's not great. It's not bad, but it just a little tedious. What do you think, Shane? What do you think of this one?
I think if this was the real Yakuza, that has slit its neck in his sleep. It's middle of the road. The most redeeming thing about this game, though, is the characters. great characters, side characters, not main characters, side characters, just like any other game. And the biggest disappointment, it is not the same combat system as Like a Dragon. That combat system was just fantastic. And I really was disappointed and surprised that they got rid of that in this. But, I understand, wanting to make some changes, spice some things up. I try that with my wife, but it never works. And it doesn't work in games either. So, um, it's a very middle of the road game. The first chapter of the game is 95% talk, which it's great voice acting and all that. It's just, after 5 minutes, it's like, shut up. Let me punch something, please. Anything. Let me hit that clown. Look, there's a baby over there. Let me get it. Just something. But no, it's nothing but talk for that first chapter. And in chapter 2, it's about 70% talk, it feels like. Now 3, it opens up basically. But by the time you hit 3, it's like, I'm tired. I'm tired of sitting here watching because I don't want to skip cutscenes because I have a bad habit. When I skip one, I skip them all. And the story in these games are typically good enough, but this one is middle of the road too, basically like Pat said. So I really, really wish they wouldn't have got rid of the combat system from Like a Dragon. I think that would appease me a lot more. But be honest, first 2 hours of this game, I literally sat in the arcades playing all the games. As soon as I run out of money from, playing the racing games, I would go, find some, beat up some thugs, come back, and I'd hit the crane game and whatnot. I do love all the mini stuff that they let you do in these games. Unfortunately for this one, the main game doesn't make you want to play long enough to afford the money to go play the mini games. So. It is definitely just straight down the middle of the road. It's, combat is okay for what it is. It does do a few interesting things, but it doesn't hold you at all. Not like a Dragon did. The graphics are really nice, but it doesn't hold you because the combat is middle of the road. The voice acting is fine, but it's too much of it. So, I would buy this game for $30, but I wouldn't pay more than that because I don't have the time to sit here and watch a game before I actually play it. So that's just me. Nick, what about you, bud? It's dark in there.
Yes, it got dark. Yeah, I agree with you. The game is $50, so you're only $10 shy or $20 shy of your price tag. But I agree. I mean, this one follows
he has no name.
Kazuma Kiryu, which is the series original protagonist. So this is the guy that started it all. I mean, these series of games. I mean, the thing about these series of games is they have their following, right? And I'm not one of them. So I liked Like a Dragon, and I liked Like a Dragon mainly because of the combat system. I like the turn-based, like traditional RPG combat system that Like a Dragon had. I've tried to play the other Yakuza games, and I just can't get into them. It's just not my thing. And so this one is really just the same as those, right? The same like combat system. Now the combat system, they have this like little, he's got this little like rope thing that you can use, which, that mixes things up and adds some interesting options when you're in combat and stuff. And it's not it's not the fact that the combat's bad in any form or fashion. It's just not my style. I don't like to go in and, they spoiled me with Like a Dragon's combat system. And I know that's like a game that's way down the road from the Yakuza series, but I tried to play the Yakuza games back in the day, and the combat system I just couldn't get into. And then when Like a Dragon came, they changed it up, and then I was into it, right? I'm like, yeah, this is good. And then of course this one, they went back to the old combat system. And I remember them talking about how Like a Dragon's combat system wasn't something that they were going to stick with. I don't know why, because I think I feel like a lot more people that weren't already into the series got into the series because of the combat system that was in Like a Dragon. Also with the characters were really good and memorable in Like a Dragon too. So it was kind of like an RPG, like an old RPG, you know. You got your heroes of characters, but it's all set in this Yakuza world. I hope Infinite Wealth is the same way, but we'll have to find out once that releases. I know there's a teaser on the that you can play somewhat of Infinite Wealth. I don't know if did you guys. I don't think I ever got around to checking that out. Did you guys check that out at all? No,
I did not. I know what
Yeah.
Nick really misses. He misses his pound mates.
I do. I miss my pound mates. Yes.
He misses the diaper club.
I was
Yeah.
really hoping this one would have something like that, or even the business management thing, because I thought the business
Right.
management in Like a Dragon was hilarious.
And Infinite Wealth might have that, right? Because I think this is a shorter game. I'm not sure how long this game takes to beat, but I mean, it was supposed to be a DLC, you know, originally. So, and then it turned into its own game to kind of, so it's a 10-hour game. So it turned into its own game to become, you know, kind of a link between Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth. Because it's supposed to, you know, at the end trickle into Infinite Wealth, the start of that kind of. So you kind of get like, it's almost like a backstory or backdrop into the start of Infinite Wealth. So, which is the next mainline game, right? I guess you could call this the mainline game, but this is kind of like a spinoff of the spinoff in a sense, right? A prologue to Infinite Wealth. So, but yeah, it's a very middle of the road game. But again, this is coming from someone that's not really big into the Yakuza series, so take that with, you know, however much grain of salt. If you're big into the Yakuza series, I think you'll enjoy this one, right? If you've played all the Yakuza games, this is going to be right up your alley. If you got in like we did, really into it with Like a Dragon, this is not going to be. You're going to be like, the combat system's not there. You know, all the other stuff that's not there from Like a Dragon's not in this, so you know. I was hoping they would stay with like if it was Like a Dragon, because they have Yakuza and then they have Like a Dragon. I thought the Like a Dragon series might just be that same combat system and kind of wackiness, and Yakuza would be more of the straightforward like uh Yakuza series that it is, but I guess not.
Yeah.
So,
I'd agree with you, because I thought that's what they were doing. They were forking the series, right? Like, because the Judgment series goes more like investigation, right? You get to investigate the
Yes.
clues and follow the clues, and I'm like, okay, cool. So they're gonna fork here with Like a Dragon is gonna basically be more of like the Ichiban story, where you get to do
Yep.
the wacky turn-based combat, even if this one's on a more serious note and not like using video game powers in the real world, you know, like they do in Like a Dragon. I'm like, cool, I'm going to do that, right? And then what are they going to do with Pound Mates? And because it was supposed to be a DLC for that, so I'm thinking sticking with the same concept, but no.
Yeah.
So that's where
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing Nick was. I was like, okay, it's going to follow that combat and storyline. They're just going to fork the series into a third series now, right? The Yakuza line, the Like a Dragon line, the Judgment line, you know, and that's how they were going to do it. But ultimately, that's not what they did. But it is what it is. What I read is they're very cryptic on the Infinite Wealth when they're like, it has turn-based like mechanics, and I'm like, what does that mean? What does turn-based like mechanics mean in a game? So I don't know. I'm ready. I want to see it, because I don't know. I need to go back and look, but I thought Like a Dragon was like one of their highest scored games ever on the Yakuza series. But I don't know. I know that it was in the 80s, and then like Judgment came out a couple of years or next year after that, and it was only in the upper 70s. And I think this game's only rating it like a upper 70s as well. So I mean, it has its following, and it's not a bad game, like Nick said. I get bored with the combat, because I always pick this. So in this one, I pick the same stance and I stay with it through most of the game. I don't stance change. I always go in, and it forces you to claw game. So I'm always going in holding the right button, so I'm ready to dodge or whatever at the right moment. Or, you know, it's a little bit too much like quick skills for me that I don't like. But that's just me. You know, it's got its following. The games always look great. They always sound great. So the Yakuza series does well in that area. But I want Ichiban back.
Yeah, they forked it by not sticking with the the Like a Dragon humor, the character types, Like a Dragon was, on the other end of the spectrum when it comes to character types. This game is more the serious type, and there's some really great voice acting, great character designs, and great characters. It's just, on the Like a Dragon spectrum, I'm Like a Dragon. I'm not Judgment. I'm not Yakuza. I'm Like a Dragon. Dragging my fat ass up the stairs, but I'm Dragon. And I wish they would go back to that, because that was a fantastic game. I mean, it caught the three of us. It grabbed Russ like there was no tomorrow. I mean, he was living on that game forever. And it's just a great funny game. And this one it's completely opposite of what that game was. So, but to each their own.
Yep. And it looks like Yakuza 0 is the highest rated Yakuza game.
Zero isn't bad.
Like a Dragon is number 2, so it's right behind
Okay.
it. Looks like about 1 point off. I think 89 is the highest score I saw for Like a Dragon, and 90 was the highest score I saw for Yakuza 0. So it just squeaks it out just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it is the middle of the road. It is on, if you have Game Pass, it is on Game Pass. So if you want to check out Yakuza, or I'm sorry, Like a Dragon Gaiden, you can go, if you have the Game Pass subscription, you can go out there and download it and play it for yourself, see if you enjoy it. The game is only $50, so it's not a completely full price game. So, and, the Yakuza series does go on sale quite often. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see this game go on sale. Maybe, the holidays are coming up and a lot of things go on sale, especially new releases and stuff. So if you're thinking about possibly picking this game up and not 100% sure, maybe wait for it to go on sale. I'm sure Black Friday or Cyber Monday or Christmas something or other sale will happen and it'll be on sale at some point. So I know PlayStation and Xbox, and I think even Nintendo are starting to do their sale stuff for the holidays and everything, starting with the Black Friday stuff.
Nintendo never puts anything on sale. That's a lie.
I think their sale is they bundled stuff with a Switch and then they call it a sale.
They're like, hey guys, this game is now $1 off. Come get it.
Even some of the crazy thing
they bundled it with $100 other item.
Right. And the crazy thing about Nintendo is when they're like Mario Kart or something, like an old game goes on sale. Yeah, it's like $10 off, and it's like, this game has been out since the Switch came out. Why is it still $60?
Yeah, it's pretty bad when you can buy a Nintendo game at GameStop cheaper than you can buy a Nintendo game from Nintendo. I mean, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's never on sale. This game is not on the Switch, though, so you can't buy it there. Just want to put that out. Just in case. We're talking Nintendo here, and you might be thinking, oh, it's on Nintendo? No, it's not on Switch. Only on Xbox, PlayStation, and Windows, but it is a $50 game. Like I said, just check it out. If you have Game Pass, you can go on there. I'm not sure if it's, I don't think it is. I don't think it's on the PlayStation Plus subscription. I think it's only on Game Pass subscription. So, but you can check it out on PlayStation Plus and see if it is out there. I'm pretty sure I looked the other day, not looking for this game, but I don't remember seeing that game listed on there in the PlayStation Plus. So pretty sure it's only Game Pass. But if you have Game Pass or Game Pass for PC, you can go and download it and play it. But other than that, you guys got anything else you want to say about Like a Dragon Gaiden?
Give Nick his pound mates back.
That's right. I want my pound mates. Take me to the pound. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Let us know down in the comments below. What's your favorite Yakuza? Do you like a Dragon? Do you like that combat style? Or, what's your favorite Yakuza game? Or you like the Judgment series? I would say, besides Like a Dragon, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Yakuza, but I do somewhat like the Judgment games. They're a little bit more detective and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if it's the characters or just the detectiveness of it or what, but I kind of like the Judgment games more than I do the Yakuza series. Not as much as I like a Dragon, but I think Judgment's pretty cool. But let us know down in the comments below what you think. Other than that, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If not, the Yakuza may or may not come for you. I don't know, but I would hit it just in case. And make sure to like the video. Make sure to follow us. Hit the bell notifications. Stay up to date with the new videos that we do all the time. We'll see you next time.
See ya.